Sonya and Sasha, for real.
Hi, you've got BRIMBANK Live on Live FM. This is the Sonya and Sasha for Real show. It is our favourite time of the week. My beautiful friend Sasha, how you going, my lovely?
Wow, we're out and about. We are not homeschooling, so let me tell you, I am out of control happy. The sun is out.
Same.
I'm feeling good. Like you even said to me the other day, you look healthy. That's
Yes.
because I'm not around everybody in my
Children.
family. No, it's not just my children, it's everybody. I'm actually having some time alone. Like, it's amazing how just a few minutes a day by yourself is actually like just we take for
I
granted
crave
all
it.
those moments that we just had before. It's just
crave it.
incredible.
I crave
So,
it. You know what?
yeah.
I've had 9 gigs this week. 9 gigs. It's just been the most amazing thing. And I was supposed to, and I'm just in front of all of these people, real life people, Sasha. They do have masks on, so I can't hear anything that they're saying, but they are real life in the audience, and I can see their eyes and I can read their energy, and they're coming up and talking to me afterwards. We have to be 1.5 meters apart, but just that alone has brought the most amazing amount of joy to my life. I can't even tell you this week. It's been the best week. And I was supposed to go to Adelaide.
Can I ask you this? Do you think that everybody's really social distancing?
No, I don't, because
Just like you
there's
just
been.
said, we're supposed to be 1.5 meters. I bet you that they're not always 1.5 meters
Well,
away.
do you know what I've got to say? The schools have been doing an incredible job with the masks wearing situation. Like they're saying to everybody, come on guys, you got to put your masks on, you got to put your masks on. But I have noticed there's a bit of hugging going on. May not involve myself, but you know, there's a bit of hugging going on.
Hey, I've been hugging the teachers when I get in there. Like, I'm so excited. And then I actually say, am I allowed to hug you? And I've not had anybody reject me, actually. Everybody said, yeah, okay, I'm really good for, because I think that we're all actually starving for affection.
Totally.
You know, that you are actually hugging people. Like, I normally would not walk into a school and hug every teacher, but now I'm hugging left, right and centre.
Yes.
And so I think from the starvation, even though it's technically not allowed, even though from the starvation, we're actually doing it much more.
Oh, of course we are, because we're hugging people and we've craved it for such a long time, because we've only had randos in the supermarket that you can't really hug, we're not supposed to, and we've had people in our own family. And so when you get out, and people are absolutely overjoyed to see you.
Yes.
Like you walk into these schools now, into the universities, and they're
really
like, oh my God, hi, you know, and they're just so excited to see you. And the kids are excited to see you.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go to Adelaide on Tuesday, the other day, to go and to do a seminar at a university over there. And do you know what? I couldn't go. Do you know why? Because they'd slapped the borders shut when Dan the Man closed us down for 5 days, and they're not opening it until 2 days after I was supposed to go there. And then the flights are so limited. And do you know what? I was going to get on a plane, Sash. I was getting on an aeroplane. Do you remember that? Do you remember getting on an aeroplane and somebody said, "Plus, fasten your seatbelts and here's an orange juice"? I was just beside myself. I was only going to be on it for 50 minutes or whatever it is, the flight to Adelaide, but I was so excited. And then they pulled the wall from underneath me, pulled the rug. And do you know what happened? There's so limited flights to go to anywhere in the country that they actually changed. They sent me an email and said, "We're sorry, we've had to change your flight coming home." I was like, all right, to half an hour after I landed. So I had to get back on the plane. And basically, as soon as I landed, I'm like, do you people actually look at your emails that you send? Like, what's going on?
So they were literally getting off it. So there's not even time to quarantine. You get there, you get back.
No, there's no time to put a bit of hand sanitizer on your hands. You're back on the plane.
So the point of going there for work was that they actually got the point of you coming home.
Yeah, I just walked off one and had to go to the next tarmac and back onto the next one. So that was kind of pointless. But so I did it on Zoom and we got the message across. And, you know, even those beautiful young people, they said, "Can we just hang out with you afterwards?" And so we just had this little virtual Zoom sort of situation where we all sat around and we just jabbered. We just talked.
Chewed on the Zoom because
it's what we need to do now, you know. Oh gosh, I missed it, but it's so good to be back in front of people.
It is so
Bless
good
you,
to
Melbourne.
be back. And do you know what do you know what's happened? So my next door neighbour passed away
Oh,
in the middle
no.
of our lockdown,
That's not right.
and he's been my next door neighbour since I was 10 years old. So you know, because I
Yeah.
haven't moved far, like one house, and so 'cause, you know, we don't take risks in my family. Well, at least I don't, right? You know, if I would have, you know, there's a piece of wood between where I've moved. Anyway, so he passed away in the middle of our lockdown, and he's had a funeral. And the funeral, now I could not believe. I actually went out the other night, and I went to a bar, and there was about 1,000 people. So this is just where I'm not getting sense with this COVID lockdown stuff, right?
Yeah.
Went into a bar, went into a club, which, you know, Sonia, you'd be very, very proud of me, right? It didn't have to. There was a line was around the corner to get into this bar, and I just could not cope. And I went to the back of the line and went, can't do this. And I just went to the front of the line and just toddled up there. And I think I was by far the oldest person. Well, you know, I'm 23 and a half, right? Oldest person. And I just went up to him and said, listen, I'm 46 years old. I don't line up. I can't line up. Please, for the love of God, let me in. I won't be staying long. Anyway, they let me in. Right?
I love it. That is gold.
That's my line. Anyway, there was about, I'd say, more than 1,000 people, jam-packed. I mean, you know, if you
no
weren't
social distancing.
If you weren't licking the back of somebody's head, who knows what you were licking, right? I mean, people were exchanging sweat and kisses left, right, and centre. It was a COVID hub, and yet you had
hotspot.
a COVID hotspot. And I went right in the middle of the mosh pit, and I just smothered myself in people's sweat, and you know, got the groove up and loved it. Anyway, and so then I went to a funeral today. Go to this funeral, and you're only allowed a certain amount of people in the church. You're not allowed to have, between the pews, you're not allowed to have anyone. So you can't have every second one. And then you, in order for you to actually get communion, you actually had to stand 1.5 meters back from the person in front of you. But listen to this. I've got to just tell you this, because if this priest had COVID, we all have it. Because I'll tell you what was going on, right?
Did he lick the communion bread? Please tell me.
I'll tell you what was going on. Now, I was a little bit bored. I'm not going to say I wasn't. I was a little bit bored. I was standing and looking at those pictures on the walls and going, that's not a bad artwork there, you know, Sistine. And anyway, so I'm there. Anyway, so this is what this priest does, okay? Puts on his mask. So he's done the whole service and no mask. It's time to get it. Breaks the bread, takes the wine, takes a bit of a sip, has a bit of chew on the bread, eats it away, and then he breaks up all the bread, okay? He's touching everything, puts his mask on, and he gets something, eats something himself, puts his mask on, and then goes over to everybody else, and then what happens is he serves the bread. Now, he says, no, I'm not going to put it in anyone's mouth because that's germy. No, let's do it this way. What he does is he's just put some in his own mouth. In between going from getting the bread to that, he's touched his face 3 or 4 times. I'm watching this dude, right? Now, I'm not anti this, and I couldn't care less about it, but I'm just thinking, how can you now, because you're not allowed to have a wake. Wakes are banned, right? And also, there's no kissing and hugging at funerals. You're not allowed to pass your condolences. So here's what he's done. He's touched his mask a couple of times, and then he's put his hand in the bowl and given it to every person, and he's touching their hand. So this germ is going, this is COVID infestation. This is a toxic fest, right? So if one person in there has got COVID, if you took communion, we've all got COVID.
Yes.
I mean, I went just because I was hungry, didn't I?
And you know what? There's not enough Hail Marys to cure that, let me tell you.
And I was like, I'm starving. I've been in this church for ages. If I can get a bit of ice cream cone into me, I'm coming up, right?
That's so nice.
Anyway, and I just couldn't believe it. I just thought, and then so when we went outside, we couldn't kiss. I thought, what's the point? Of course we can kiss. We've all just shared some.
So you're telling me, you can lick the back of someone's head in a nightclub, but you cannot kiss somebody. I'm really sorry that your husband passed away.
absolutely can't.
This
In
is
fact,
the
you're
world
not
that we're
allowed to
living in,
hang out
guys.
at the front of a church. Like, I'm telling you, coffin comes out, you've got to get the hell out of there. Like,
Can't
I
wait
just
for this
don't
thing.
understand these rules. Anyway, all I say is do what works for you, because
Yeah.
your mental health is the most important thing, okay?
Yeah.
And if at some point you need to go, I need to sneak away to see that person or to give them that hug, you know, I'm big on following the rules and all of that stuff. Anyway,
Keep
we'll
safe,
try.
keep
But
safe,
it is
everybody.
about really being safe, but it is about looking after your mental health. And I think if you do need that hug in a special time of need, or if you do need to do something, then I think that takes priority, because starving yourself of affection is not good at all.
Not wait for this stupid thing to be all over and we never speak of it again. So there you go.
I want to say,
all
do you
right.
remember COVID? Do you remember that COVID thing? Do you remember that?
Do you remember
we
when
weren't allowed to kiss?
we
We weren't
nearly
allowed to
lost
lick
our
the back of
minds?
someone's head in the nightclub. Do you remember that?
And on that note, we're going to go to a break. After the break, we've got the incredible Susie O'Brien, who has just authored a book called The Secret of Half-Assed Parenting. Cannot wait to dive into that. That is certainly us. You're listening to BRIMBANK Live on Live FM. This is the Sonya and Sacha For Real show. We're so happy you joined us. We'll see you after the break.
Sonya and Sacha, for real.
You're listening to BRIMBANK Live on Live FM. This is the Sonya and Sacha For Real show, and we always have the best guests who we didn't even have to stalk this time, because that's our normal way of getting guests, isn't it, Sacha, to stalk them? She's a friend of ours, this wonderful woman. Can you please do the proper intro for this lovely friend of ours?
Hang on. This is an intro and a half. Like, we get some really, really smart people, but this one just takes the cake. Okay, firstly, her name's Dr. Susie O'Brien. She is very, very smart. She has a PhD in education. She is a journalist for the Herald Sun, appears weekly on Channel 7 Sunrise, and she is the author of The Secret to Half-Assed Parenting. This book that's out now, this is something that we definitely need to do, because we are parents and we're going absolutely nuts. And do you know what? Dr. Susie over here, between her and her partner, they've got 5 kids. So let us know. Let us know. We didn't talk about how to raise these parents. Hey, Susie, thank you so much for being on the show. Ladies. Oh, wow. Now, tell us, you've got this book. Okay. What made you even write this book?
Well, I couldn't believe that we're all saying that we can't raise our kids the way we want to, even though we're the ones raising them. And I started thinking, that's just insane. And I did a story for the Herald Sun about this survey of parents, and it said 1/5 of parents don't know think that they are less happy now than when they had kids, than before they had kids. So having kids that they wanted has made them unhappy. And then 1/3 of parents say they don't know if they're happy or not. They're so stressed. They're so time poor. They're so over everything. They can't say if they're happy or not. And I started thinking, here we are. We've got everything we want. This is pre-COVID, obviously. Everything we want in life, you know, and yet we are stressed and we are anxious and we are depressed, and our kids are stressed and anxious and lacking resilience. And I was thinking, something has to give. What is it that's going to give? And so I wrote this book to give parents an answer. So one of the big problems is that we're working more than ever. You know, most families have got 2 parents, both working a lot, even one parent working a lot, and we're putting our hands up to volunteer at the footy club and do all this great stuff because we're good people, and we're doing a lot of hands-on parenting, and we don't have the hours in the day. So what do we stop? We stop our social lives, we stop seeing our friends, we stop cooking from scratch, we stop having bubble baths, whatever it is. But doing less parenting.
Hang on, sorry, stop. What was that? Yeah, bubble bath. The only bubbles I'm getting is from my soda stream, darling. That's it. You know what I mean? And even when it runs out for gas, I don't have enough time to go get another one. Like, that's how time poor I am.
You got to fart in the bath. I know. That's what you do.
I don't have baths, right? It's a 5-minute shower. You know, you get to wash your armpits and then you're out, right? And it's just, you're absolutely right.
and you know what? Doing less parenting is something that doesn't seem to occur to anyone, because we're so used to thinking that more, when it comes to parenting, more is better. We have to do more. We do more hands-on. We take them to more activities. We do their homework more. We put together their Lego creations, because they're not going to be able to do it well enough. You know, they're going to skip a page and you're going to have bits left over and it's going to fall down.
Oh my God, Susie, have you got a camera in my house? Do you understand how many Lego things I've put together? Like, it's just ridiculous.
Under sufferance, I'm sure. And you sit there flipping each page, and you've got all these, and the kids are losing interest. You know, when I grew up in the 70s and 80s, you know, we'd get a box of Lego, we'd empty it onto the floor. Mum might swear when she stepped on a piece, and that would be the extent of her, you know, her part in it. And she'd leave us to just create something. And these days, the Lego comes in a box and it costs $200, and it's a Mandalorian X-Wing starfighter, and can no one ring in and say that's not a thing? And
that's what I've done.
And it costs $200 and it takes 8 hours to put together. And by the end of it, we're exhausted, because we are basically being the kid. We are doing it for them.
Yeah, over COVID, I put together a $500 Back to the Future DeLorean, and my kids couldn't even care about it. They wanted it, and I put it together, and like.
And you said, you know what, you can't play with that. Put it on the top shelf.
No, they can't, because it's my greatest creation.
That's exactly right. And it's not about play for them.
No.
And the same with activities. There's all this research, like the Lego Foundation actually did this research, and it showed that all these activities that we're putting our kids into, they don't see it as play. They don't see it as fun. Like, they might enjoy bits of it. But, you know, we're running around like bad things. Where's your mouth guard? Where's your socks? Where's your soccer ball? What time's the practice? What time do you need to pick you up? Where's your, hang on, I told you to get your drink bottle, go and get it. That's not fun. That's not fun for them or for us. So I'm saying half-ass parenting, let it go. Cut down the activities, cut down the hands-on, do less parenting, not cut, you know, do less across the board and so that the kids are neglected, but do less of the stuff that doesn't matter.
Yes, amazing.
I'm speechless. I've got nothing to say. I'm speechless. What's the next question? I have nothing to say. Like, I'm literally.
No, wait. Yes. It is. You're so onto something here, Susie, because we watch this all the time. And Sasha and I have, you know, gone through the primary school system and had to get our tribe of people together, you know, at schools and stuff. And I can't tell you the number of conversations that we've stood there listening to how much kale they're getting into their lunch boxes for their kids, and, you know, they're you know, what they're sewing, and they're making shapes out of the sandwiches, and like all of this sort of stuff. And I'm like, can't handle it. I'm just not. And I love this half-assed thing, because there's so much of the parenting that we do, I think, Sash, and we, you know, I mean, we do our best, but there's some that we just go, I can't stand that rule. I'm not doing that. I don't think
like
that.
Nude food. Like, I get, you know, environmentally, you know, it's good to be environment. But, you know, do I want my kid paraded in front of the class because his mum works and does the sandwiches the night before, puts them in Glad wrap in the fridge? And is that wrong? Is that so bad? You know, I don't want him to feel like he's got a lesser lunchbox because I don't cut the grapes in half, or make little mini lollipops out of the strawberries, or put faces on the banana, and don't leave little love notes so that he knows that I love him. Like, eat what you're given, and if you don't want it, go hungry, and then you'll probably eat it tomorrow because you know there's nothing else. Like, it's not that hard. And yet, even book week, you know, we turn up and the kids parade around the place. Like, you know, there are all these websites about how you can make, you know, Harry Potter, or you can make the very hungry caterpillar with 100 legs, and you sew them all on individually. But there's nothing on the internet, and I know this for a fact, for people who remember that it's book week at 5 minutes to 9 and have to make a costume out of what you can grab by the front door. Now, I've worked it out. You give them a saucepan and they put it on the head and go as the saucepan man. And then they're not happy with that because they say, who's in a Blighton?
That is wrong.
It doesn't
How
have
can
to
they
be
not
that.
know?
It doesn't have to be that hard. We are psyching ourselves out, and we're also thinking that everyone else cares what we do or what our kids do. They're actually not. They're probably faking it till they make it too. You know, all the fancy ladies that pick up in their with their thigh gap and their fancy outfits, you know, they probably wore the same thing 3 days running and got it out of the dirty clothes basket, because you know what, they're not coping either. And here we are thinking that they're lording it over us. They're probably not. They probably wouldn't care. If you said, well, come and have a cup of coffee instead of give them the dirty eyeball, they'd probably be ecstatic.
You know what? That's what happens. And when you start talking to them, you find out. And you know what we found? When you bring real into a conversation, it allows everybody else to put down that barrier in the facade and get real. And we're all the same. We're all feeling the same stuff. And you know, I just think you're so brilliant. This is a great book. So give us some real life examples. How do you become a half-assed parent if you're not now?
Oh, well, I think, you know, say no. We don't have to explain everything. We just say no. I think stop doing the kids' homework. Like my son had to do one planet, and he did it out of paper mache, and I helped him, you know, with the balloon and the paper mache, but he basically did it. It looked wonky, but it was fine. But, you know, the day that he turned up at the school gate, there was some people with like 7 planets on a board that had to be carried sideways through the gate and conveyed in a minibus because the parents took over. So stop doing the kids' homework for them. Stop doing their special projects. Don't talk to the teachers every day. Don't worry about what's happening in the classrooms or the playground. They'll work it out. And you know what? Weekends can be about dropping the kids at the park and leaving them there. Let them walk home. Let them walk to the shops. Let them have some fun with their friends. Let them have some freedom. And of course, that would work with a 12-year-old, maybe not a 7-year-old. But you know, we can just let go of some of this stuff. Just because it's on, you don't have to go. Just because they want it, you don't have to say yes. Just because their friends have got it, they don't have to have it as well. And it's actually okay for us to take back control of our own parenting and do things differently in a way that makes sense to us.
So true.
But one of the things that you talk about is fighting that guilt in your mind. How do you deal with all of that? Because we want to be able to do all of these things, because effectively what we're doing is we're parenting ourselves in some way. We're giving ourselves the things that we missed out on, because, you know, my mum never took me to anything, let alone 7 activities, you know, by 2 kids and this, that, and, you know, like, and every birthday party and all of that sort of stuff. You know, she never took me. So now we're overcompensating because we came from a generation where the most they had to do with this was, you know, look at the fact that there was some Legos on the floor, let alone get in and play. So we're overcompensating. So how do you deal with that guilt?
I actually love that you said that. I've never thought of it that way, but you're right. We are overcompensating. And because we're also working more than our parents did in longer hours, we're overcompensating for that. So we think that the time that we are spending with our kids has to be so amazing, hands-on, kid focused. And it's turning them into this sort of like needy, lacking in resilience, you know, not being able to do things, have confidence that they'll be able to do things themselves and make mistakes. And like, for example, the other day, my son is 11 and he's just started riding his bike places. And I said, he's got a phone. And I said to him, call me when you get there. And he forgot his phone. And so he had to ask a stranger to borrow her phone. He goes, I asked a nice lady with 3 kids, Mum. I thought she'd say yes. He had to ask someone to borrow their phone, a stranger, so he could use that phone to ring me to say, I'm here, I'm okay. And how good was that? Like that was such a good thing for him to learn. So look, we have to just sort of let them, we have to bring back some of that 70s and 80s. And I'm not saying, you know, that they have to sit in a room by themselves and play with a bit of earwax and a pipe cleaner, you know. Or, you know, like they used to do in the 70s to one friend of mine, the mother used to actually lock the doors. And so the kids were forced to play outside till it was dark. Like, I think there are limits. But, you know, we can get back some of that and let the kids just learn those skills of resilience. And I think a big thing, like you say, the guilt, is stop following people on social media that make you feel bad about yourself. You know, like hashtag find your femininity, hashtag find your sanity, find your sensuality. You know, I don't actually want to find my sensuality. I want to find my daughter's mouth guard because it cost me $150. And I want to find my sanity, not my sensuality.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yes.
let's do less of hashtag blessed and do a bit more of hashtag something's full of shit or something's crap or something's gone off the rails, because we're living our best lives on social media and everyone else is lapping it up, and we kind of know it's not true, but we still get sucked into the images and we think, oh wow, really, how come my kids' clothes don't match their food? Wow, that's so bad. Like, that only happens in my house when they spill something on their tops, you know. You know, like, I've got toddlers. Why aren't I like bench pressing them?
Yeah.
You know, like, why am I spending my evenings working out it's ridiculous.
God,
So
I
we
love
have to
this. It
actually
just makes
block
us
the
feel
people on
normal.
social media that make us feel bad.
But you know what you do? You're just making us feel normal. You're making us feel like it's okay. You're doing your best. You're all right. If you don't get, grapes in the shape of lollipops, whatever the hell that thing was before, we're doing okay. Are they dressed? Yes. Do they have food in their stomachs? Yes. Are they where they should be at the right time? Good. You've done a good job, Mum. Go and have
Are they chilled and do they love us? You know, or are they so stressed they don't even know? Are we so stressed that we don't even know? Like, I think we've actually lost sight of what's important. And everybody, people of our generation are like, oh, I had such a great childhood in the 80s and it was so fun and free. Oh, I could never raise the kids like that. And look, there are some things that are different, but really not that much. And the biggest difference is what's happening in our own minds, that we've got this idealized image of what parenting has to be, and it involves spending 12 hours building their Lego creations and making the universe out of paper mache, when in fact one little friggin' planet would do.
I love it.
Give us some tips on how we can handle COVID, how we can handle all of those kind of things during COVID, like homeschooling and the guilt of, for us, the guilt of homeschooling and not being good enough and not teaching our kids, or getting mad and all of those kind of things. How can we do with that? Because at any moment we could be back in lockdown again. So give us some tips on how we can handle that.
I think, the thing about, I'd stacked myself as my son's teacher. Oh, sorry. I'd sacked myself as my son's teacher by like 9:30 on the first day of homeschooling. Like, I just totally had enough. But
I didn't think of doing that. I should have done that.
We can only do one role at a time. Like, we couldn't be teachers to them during that because we were parents, and they didn't respect our authority as teachers, even though we said, you've got to do this. All we could do is be parents and hope that they did the right thing and tell them to do the right thing. But we couldn't actually take on that responsibility, because my son, I had picked out all this great educational stuff for him to do in addition to his schoolwork. And he said, Mum, I'm not doing your extra crappy stuff. Like, why would he spend his extra hours on mathletics rather than Fortnite?
Athletics.
All we can really do is be the best parent we can, and we can't become teachers overnight, and we shouldn't be expected to. And we actually need to just make sure they're okay, they're not too stressed, they're doing the minimum. That's all we can really expect. And I think for times like this, we have to drop our standards and not expect that there's going to be a home-cooked dinner from scratch on the table every night when, you've spent half your day homeschooling and you've got none of your own work done. You've got a Zoom with the girls just to keep you sane. Like that, working out what's important. And sometimes Uber Eats wins out over the home-cooked meal because it frees you up to do other things. And I think just admitting that you can't do everything and you just have to focus. Like, I've got some friends whose kids are going through eating disorders and really bad depression, and they would love to have some of the problems I've got, like, gee, is he at Glenferrie Road or Camberwell? I don't know where my son is for half an hour. Like, they would be like, I'd be so happy that he's out of the house. Like, sometimes you just have to be happy with the kids if they're just sort of bumbling along and, eating well and kind of turning up for dinner and where they are. Like, maybe some days that's the best we can do.
Totally agree. All right, well, where can we get this beautiful book from?
Where can we get it from?
Brian?
Well, the book is available in all good bookshops, and I'm so excited because it's in Target and it's in Big W and it's in Kmart. Apparently it's at the airport if anyone's actually flying anywhere, and it's also online, Amazon, Booktopia, all the rest of it, and you can get it on Kindle. There's an ebook, so it's pretty much everywhere. And if you're going to bookshop and it's not there, you can ask for it. So The Secret of Half-Assed Parenting. So
Susie,
I hope
we
people enjoy it.
are so proud of you. We are so proud of you because we know how hard you work, and this is a brilliant, brilliant idea. And you're going to make a lot of people feel very, very happy and calm, and much more together, and not so judged and guilt-ridden. And I think the only thing that I would change is, do you have a version that says after COVID and the amount of bread that I ate, is the secret of 1.5-assed parents? Is that the sequel coming up?
It's just half a toasty. That's
okay, half a toasty. All right, that's where I went wrong. Half a toasty. All right, Susie O'Brien.
And of course, I even even talk about you girls in the teenage section. So drawing on some of your wisdom.
Thank you.
So you'll have to get your copy and look it up. So thank you.
Brilliant. Dr. Susie O'Brien, The Secret of Half-Assed Parenting, available everywhere that you get amazing books. And we are so proud of you. Thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thank you, ladies.
You're listening to the Sonya and Sasha For Real show. We'll see you after the break. BRIMBANK Live FM.
Sonya and Sasha, For Real.
You're listening to BRIMBANK Live and Live FM. This is the Sonya and Sasha For Real show. It's the happiest day of the week for us because we get to speak to the most incredible people, and I get to hang out with you, Sash, which is always lovely. Now, I have a question for you. Okay, if you want to feel chilled out and at one with the universe and positive and like you're living your best life, who do you go and speak to?
Oh, I go to speak to my own mentor. Like, I've actually got a mentor that I see on a weekly basis, sometimes twice a week, that I get to hang out with. And I get to sit and I listen to him speak, and I listen to him speak to my kids. But then I also get my own little therapy session at the end of class and sometimes tell him my issues. And that is the very own sensei of Shogun's martial arts in Moonee Ponds, and his name is Kong Wing Lo, and he has been doing martial arts for 53 years.
Oh,
he is the real
come on.
Miyagi, and he is here on our show right now. Hey, Sensei, welcome.
Hi, how are you, girls? Haven't seen you for a long time. And Sonya, sorry, Sacha, I see you every week anyway. Good to see you again, Sonya.
Oh, it's lovely to see you, Sensei. You know what? I just look at your face and I start smiling. That's what happens when I look at you. You have that effect on people, I think.
Oh, thank you. I've been practicing my smile all the time because that's my business smile.
Your business smile.
Well, Sonya,
no, you have to.
Well, I tell you, Sensei, you have the most calming vibe. And it's the way that you educate people, the way that you talk to people, and your business is just incredible, the way that you teach young people. You have so many young people that come in week after week and learn martial arts. I mean, I've been coming to see you every week for 9 years now. That's how much time I've spent with you over the course of the last 9 years. And so you make my Saturday mornings absolutely perfect. And you get to teach my kids this ability to censor them, to center themselves, and to be able to also in some leadership things as well. But I guess the reason why we wanted to speak to you is because you've had this incredible business for as long as I can remember, because I remember being a teenager myself and walking up and down Punkle Street and seeing your business and wanting to join. And when it was my time to be able to send children to do some martial arts, I knew exactly where I would take them because I'd been watching this place grow over my entire lifetime. And I have to say, it was, as much as our businesses have been devastated, your business was completely shattered over COVID and this lockdown, and yet you managed to entertain us on social media with stuff that was just left field. Like, it was just funny, and we got to learn a whole nother side of you. And so I guess because all of us have gone through this roller coaster ride, we just wanted to know from you, how did you handle this lockdown and everything that it did to you and your business?
I put up a lot of funny stuff, humorous stuff on Facebook during the lockdown, because I thought, the first term the first lockdown we couldn't do anything, and a lot of people also have no plan what to do. And then I thought of Zoom and all that, and that was the first time I ever taught anything online, which is a great thing. I learned something, and it's so easy to use, something online. And I love Facebook, to be honest with you. Without Facebook, I'm lost. Like I say, sometimes I post things like, oh, I look at Facebook before I look at Rita, my wife. In the morning, I grab the phone and look at Facebook. I know it's ridiculous,
That's great.
And
Hang on,
I
how
know,
old
and
are you, Sensei? How old are you?
I'm 69 this year. I just had my birthday in January, so I love Facebook and the contact I have, the friends. I see friends that I never seen before, like from school days, from high school, and they're still alive, and I'm so glad they're healthy and all that. And of course, you every now and then you see the sad news, somebody passed away and all that. And I see my students grow up, they left me and then they got married and see their children having birthday. Like you in the morning, sometimes I see your upload and I have a good laugh, and you standing inside the trolley, the shopping trolley, and all being silly, I mean, we have to at this kind of environment now with the pandemic. We got to find things to make ourselves happy. To be honest, we have to find a way, to console ourselves. Life is not that bad. I mean, it's not a death sentence. Only honestly, it's only money we lost. If you look at the whole thing, our business, we lost money, and then we got our health. We really got our health. And at my age, health is so important. If you tell the 30 years old, tell 18 years old and all that, they're not interested in what I'm saying. But now it means so much. Every day, if you are healthy, I thought, oh, really thank God and all that you are healthy. So I look at it this way. Money, we can always make the money. And like they always say, you can't take your money with you. So I look at the whole thing like that.
Look at the positive attitude that you've had through this entire time. And one of the things that Sonia and I do is we actually used comedy and laughter as a way for us to get through it as well. And, when we would say to people all the time, just put on a comedy, laugh at something, do something silly, and you would have no idea how much of an impact something like that would be. And to get that same information from you is just so reassuring to us that we're on the right track, Sonia.
Absolutely.
That
And
you're even laughing yourself and laughing at us as well.
Do you know what we've
it's
had?
very. Yeah, go
Sorry,
on, Sonia.
Sensei. No, you please go on, please.
Yeah, laughter, like they say, is the best medicine. But I always take life. Sometimes I don't take life seriously, and because my job, I should take life seriously, take everything serious because it's karate. I can hurt people, I teach people, but then there's a serious side of me when I teach children. But I use humor to teach children. Not only children, I have mothers, fathers, grandpa, grandma sitting there watching the 4 years old, watching the 5, 6 years old, like a SACHA, she sit there and watch me, and I got to be careful what I say to the kids. In the past, many years ago, in the beginning, when I have the Shogun Martial, I learned things I should say, things I shouldn't say, and all that. And some parents come up and say, you shouldn't say that. You know how thankful I am to the parents who told me, just now you shouldn't have mentioned that sort of thing. Then I realized I made a mistake. And I did say sorry to them. And I learned the hard way. Of course, I made only a couple of mistakes, So, and I got to be, and I educate the parents at the same time. Because a lot of children, although, I can only do so much, they come twice a week, 45 minutes. Then the rest are for the parents to work on. I recently have one kid who is autistic, and the mother came up, Cynthia, you're not paying attention to my child. He just joined. and he is autistic. He's on medication and blah blah blah. I noticed he didn't put up the hand. You didn't go up to him and all that. I said, look, you are paying too much attention to him. Everything he does or don't do, you are homing in on him, focusing on him. You don't let him breathe, I said, and then if he doesn't do what you want him to do, you think he should go and see a psychiatrist, a counselor and all that. And then you make things worse. I said, let him be a kid. You know, he's not the noisy autistic boy. So, and I have a way with a few autistic kids, you know. I know how to handle them through karate, because eventually, you know, they will work in with me because they want something that I'm trying to implement, something that a reward that they want. I attract them by reward. So they actually finally they put their hand up to want to do something for me. I told the parents, let that 45 minutes, let me handle it, you know. So there's positive of the whole training with, especially with this. So I'm actually teaching the mother, you know. I'm no psychiatrist, I'm no counselor, but I know how. I've seen it all before, many years. I have kids like that.
It's so good to have people with you like you, Sensei,
Yeah.
because we as parents are just sometimes so caught up in making sure that we're doing the right thing and that they're getting all the opportunities they can, and we don't want them to feel pain or negativity or any of those sorts of things. And it's kind of hard for us to take our hands off the wheel and say, well, you kind of do need to feel those sorts of things to build some resilience and some strength. So I guess I certainly saw when we came into your Shogun, where, you know, you just have this ability to teach everybody, and the stories that you tell as well through your teachings have stayed with me. I've often used some of the things that you told me in the day that we came in and filmed at your what do you call it? What do you call it? Your
Dojo.
I was trying to think of the name at your dojo. You know, I say those in my seminars very often. So these kinds of martial arts and physical activity paired with, you know, connecting and stories, they're really powerful for our kids, aren't they? What are some of the mental health benefits that kids get from being involved in martial arts?
Because you know, when you tell them a story, like everything else, you know, when you buy your blouse, you know, you tell a story where you got it from, you know, and we are all storyteller. Whether you got to watch what audience is listening to your story. So to a 4-5 years old, I tell story that impress the 4-5 years old. I water it down, I make it all, you know, real interesting to a 4-5 years old. Sometimes I change the storyline, and sometimes I bluff, I lie to the kids to get them to reach the goal I want them to do.
Of course.
I give you an example. Yeah, I give you an example, because children, you need to put the seed in their mind. You've got to put a seed, plant the seed. What type of seed you want to plant? Like they say, you reap what you sow. You know, so you just put the seed you want. The children they are sponges. Whatever seed you put in there, they will grow. So I always plant the seed in them. Certain kids, it's not the same seed for everybody. So, for example, one kid, he wouldn't listen to what I say. All right, he's naughty. He play with the sticks, and he looked through the stick we used to practice. It's a hollow. So I don't know how to warn him. I keep telling the whole class, and he wouldn't listen. So I told him a story. I said, 3 months ago, I say, you know, this kid was looking through this stick. I wasn't targeting him. I knew he was listening. I said, someone ran past, hit the head. The whole stick went inside the eyes. And you know what happened? I say, you know what happened? It went through, came out through the back of the head. Blood was everywhere. You know? And I know, I say, you know what's the funny part? When we pulled the stick out, there was a popping noise. And the eyeball was stuck in the stick. So we have to go on the other side, blow the stick to pull the eyeball out. the funny part was the mother was, all the parents was holding a straight face when I told the story. Everyone wanted to laugh, but they got to hope because they knew I'm trying to tell this kid to behave. So I find if you do that kind of thing, the kids will get the message. I said, I don't like cleaning blood on the floor. I say, So I find
I love that story.
that kind of thing works. It works like wildfire, So you tell them, you blow up the entire story, you blow up the accident. This kind of thing, I learned it. One thing I learned it through years. Years ago, I attended a seminar called Power of the Mind in the 80s. I remember I paid $500 just to learn that on a weekend. $500 in 83. That was a lot of money.
Big money.
Yeah. And that's the thing that you learn. That line that I learned, that little storyline I learned, was worth the weekend. The rest I couldn't understand. The rest I couldn't remember. Because on a positive mind and how to develop a positive mind, not only think positive, you actually how you accept the positiveness from the disaster. Let's say, for example, I give you an example. Or you think now we are all, with this COVID, we lost money, blah, blah. Let's expand the whole thing. Let's exaggerate the whole thing. Your house burned down. Your entire house turned to ashes. The bushfire came through, burned your car was all in ashes. All right. And something else happened to your relative. They are dead. The skeleton wasn't there. They couldn't find. And then now look at the whole thing. Is the pandemic bad now? No, it's not bad, because you look at the how I enlarge and exaggerate the whole. We are still alive. It's nothing like that has happened to us. So you look at, you think of the worst thing that could happen to you. Are you in that situation? No, you're not. So I always think of things like that. Somebody, I know it's bad to say somebody is worse off than you. If you look at Queensland and some other places where they have all the, the bushfire, the flood and all that. In Melbourne, you can go to Woolies and Aldi's and wherever to buy what you want, And now with the pandemic, all right, we locked down for 8-9 months. What's the worst thing we go through? Stop eating as much. That was don't eat that.
Sensei, you're so right.
Gem. Thank you so much for this positive outlook, and just a whole nother outlook on how we can actually teach ourselves to be positive and teach our kids to be positive and resilient. And you certainly do put a whole new spin on it for us, that we're not feeling sorry for ourselves. And, there's much worse things that could happen. You're an absolute gem. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being in my life and my mentor, because I can't tell you how many times I've sat and just went in and gone, Sensei, this is what's happening in my life. Blah, 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 blah. So thank you for all of those moments. I love you.
Welcome.
And I'm so grateful for you in our lives and in my children's lives.
Thank you, Sacha. Thank you for staying with me for so many years. Meantime, those 9 years, I already have 2 divorces. I won a divorce. I had 3 relationships, all broken, and you still with me.
Don't tell your wife that, right?
And on that positive note, we're going to go to a break. Thank you, Sensei.
Right,
you're amazing. You're listening to the
Sonya.
Sonia and Sasha For Real show. BRIMBANK Live on Live FM. We'll see you after the break.
Sonia and Sasha, For Real.
Thank you so much for listening to BRIMBANK Live on Live FM. This is the Sonia and Sasha For Real show, and it's our favourite day of the week where we get together and we talk all things, exciting things that have happened during the week. And Sash, you are, as always, all over social media. You're all over the internet. We have had recommendations to talk to this man. So would you like to tell us who he is, please? Our next guest.
All right. Okay. So over lockdown, I thought to myself, let's give this TikTok a go. Okay, so basically now at 5 hours a day is my addiction. And I'm scrolling through. And I'm watching this stuff, and it would have to be the most incredible space of vulnerability where people can be themselves and be funny, and it's not showing off. In fact, it's actually showing you real stuff. And there's this influx of people that are our age, 23 and a half, Sonia, our age.
23 and a half, correct. Every birthday, yes.
There's this influx of people. And so I've started following people, okay, because this is what you do randomly, over 50, because there's this massive group of over 50-year-olds that are on TikTok doing really, really fun things. And I'm obsessed in it. Like like when I say obsessed, next level, like I've given Netflix the flick just so I can TikTok. Oh, I'm telling you, like I'm going to bed and I'm completely not even I'm just like scrolling and all of this stuff. So we've been recommended and we came across this person, okay, and we have James Jordan, who is a TikToker, over 50s TikToker from North Carolina, who has just come on board on this little train of TikTok, who now has 22,500 followers. And you know what this dude does? He just mimes every song. Like he'll give you a romance. He'll be, you'll be Snoop Dogging your heart out like you are. Like it's just like every genre of song. So welcome, James Jordan.
Yay!
Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
James, we need to ask you what makes, okay, so hang on, firstly, how old are you, James?
I am 51 years old.
Right, what makes a 51-year-old man from North Carolina go, I'm going to go on TikTok and I'm going to kill it the way that you do?
So beginning, I was just watching TikTok. And then like a month later, my granddaughter was on TikTok. So she talked to me. She said, Grandpa, can you get on TikTok for me because you like to dance? I said, I don't have time to do that. I'm busy. Then the quarantine happened, so I wasn't busy anymore. The quarantine.
Of course, yes.
So I did my first video for my job, which was actually the Boys and Girls Club. And then I had to work a little dance stance for them. So that went from there to 2 videos to 3 videos. And I think I have about over 1,000 videos, I believe, right now.
Oh my goodness. And how do you get more than 22,000 followers on TikTok? That is incredible. How does that even happen?
I don't know. I guess I like to do different types of dances, a little bit of comedy, not too much comedy, a little bit of comedy. And I love movies. I love acting. I love dancing. I like singing. Now I'm lip syncing, so I really don't sing that well. So that makes it better for me.
I was going to ask you that because we've been looking at your clips and you really look like you are actually singing. Like I've had to go, is that really him in some of those clips? Like that, you're actually doing such an excellent job. You know what I love about this, everything I love about this, Tash, but I love that once you're more than 23 and a half, which is what we are, you can just recreate yourself and do something that's completely out of the box and just jump on, have no fear, and you're bringing so much joy to so many people. How much fun are you having with this?
I am now addicted to
TikTok.
I think I did like 4 last night, and I just like edited them and haven't put them in yet. Just waiting. Yeah. But it's the people what they want. That's what I try to do.
Well, you do, and you've got a lot of people to keep happy now, so you've got to make sure that you keep getting it. So you're there, you've got your groove on, you're dancing away. What do you do in your other life, in the real life, in your job?
Okay.
9 to 5.
In real life, I am a program director for the Boys and Girls Club, admin office. So I run programs for them. And I am a retired teacher assistant of 25 years. I retired 2 years ago.
Wow.
So hang on, do you have any followers that have ever been ex-students or ex-parents, and like all of a sudden they'll send you this thing and going, that was my kid's teacher and I'm checking him out on TikTok now?
Well, I do get my basketball players. So I have my own organization. It's called East Coast All Stars. And I do a mentoring basketball program. I've been doing it for like 17 years.
Wow.
So a lot of my players are up there watching me. So when I go to basketball practice, they mention it to me all the time.
Yeah, they're just coming up to him and going, my love, there's only you. Like, like they've been doing this sort of thing and having a dance, because It's I think that TikTok has almost been like this phenomenal of thing, something to do, and especially for older people, because normally, I mean, when TikTok first came out, it was really like a younger kind of crowd, like it was that 10,
Yes.
12, 13-year-olds, right? And then all of a sudden with lockdown, all of us 23-year-olds just went, oh, I'll give this a go. And and now I've even noticed that there's now this trend for like over 70s, and I'm watching them as well, and they're absolutely hilarious. Like it's, where you're getting these grandma and grandpas that are doing these dances and doing all these different things, and it's just so cool. And I think it's awesome that you're doing it, and I think it's awesome that you're going outside the square and pushing yourself to do that, because I'm sure a year ago, if we told you this is what would happen, what would you think?
Nah, I wouldn't be here. I don't think I would even be on the interview right now. Because I
Yeah.
am always, I'm shy in person, but I can do anything in front of that camera, dance, anything like that. I also have a group of 3rd through 5th graders that I teach dancing to for the last 10 years. So I have a dance crew too.
Oh, this is
Wow.
amazing. So you've just dedicated your entire working career to helping young people
Yes.
thrive and to mentor young people. And I see you've got your cross there. So, you're a man with blessings, and you're blessing everybody else with your creativity now, and you're able to spread your love even further. What's your favorite TikTok? Congratulations on that, by the way. That's a really beautiful way to dedicate someone's career, like your life, to working with young people. And I'm sure you've had a significant impact on them. So congratulations. That's a lovely thing.
Thank you.
What is your favorite?
What's your favorite one that you just went, that was the best fun to do and I loved it?
My favorite, oh man, probably when I did the WAP remix.
I have to go check your what remix out.
It's
We have to go check
great.
that.
Yeah,
I have to
back in
say,
July.
back in July. Okay, I'm going to check that one out. And I would definitely say my favorite was Endless Love. Like I'm a big, massive fan. And when you duetted that one, I was like out there, and I think I watched it maybe 10 times. I just let it go, and let it go. Sometimes I just leave it on the kitchen bench, and then because with TikTok you literally have to push it to the next one. It doesn't do it by itself. So you're
Right.
looking at me like going, she has lost her mind. That's how much
No,
I'm
I
just leaving.
appreciate it.
No.
And I'm just leaving, and then you walk past, and you come back 10 minutes later, and it's still going over and over. So if anyone's watching your views, it's me that's getting your views up there.
Do you know what I was just? I was doing that. You know what I was thinking about? There's this fantastic meme that's I think it's actually a proper message, and somebody's kids have told their parents that WAP stands for worship and prayer, and so the mother, right, has sent out a text message to the church group. Would you like to come over on Friday for some pizza and WAP? And everyone's like, let's go.
Oh, no, that's changed. Yeah, it's changed.
Oh, I love it.
I
Oh,
put
this is great.
WHOP.
What was that?
On my video, I put WHOP. I didn't put the other one.
Oh,
beautiful.
WHOP.
All right,
Okay.
well, we're
You
gonna
get
check
the
that
PG version, James.
We're
Good
gonna
job.
All right, so please, everyone, go to TikTok, follow, and what is it? It's James
It's J Jordan 451.
J Jordan 451. Follow him. You will love it. You'll sing along and get on board. Get on board the TikTok train, people, because you will absolutely be entertained for hours. Thank you so much, James. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Can't wait to keep watching you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
You're brilliant. You too. Thank you so much, James Jordan. We've had such a big show, Sash. We've had a lovely time. We talked to the lovely Susie O'Brien with the book Secret of Half-Assed Parenting. We've had a chat with the wonderful James. We've had a chat with Bianca. What a great show. Again, let's do it again next week, shall we?
Yeah, let's go.
Yes.
Let's do it again. All right, get onto that TikTok. Don't forget. All right, take care. Have the best week ever. You're listening to Sonia and Sasha for real on BRIMBANK Live FM. We will see you next week.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Sonia and Sasha, for real.